Hey y'all, it's Kelsey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you live from my couch. I'm just relaxing. Right now I've been running around crazy today trying to get my life in order. I don't know if y'all have days like that when you just wake up and you're like, I'm getting it all together today, my whole life. So that was me today, so I'm pretty exhausted from all that, but I am so excited to be filming video 3 of the wedding series. For those of you that have been keeping up with the wedding series, I'm super excited and I hope you're learning a lot. If you have any questions, like I said, you can message me on Instagram. And I'm so pumped up today because I've actually had a lot of messages from y'all today and I'm excited. I feel like now that I know somebody's watching and actually benefiting from these videos, it makes it more exciting and it makes me get just more into it, because when you don't have feedback, you're like, okay, am I just talking to myself? Because that's boring. So I'm gonna get started for y'all, and if you are a bride and you haven't been keeping up with the series, so that you know, today is all about bridal beauty prep, but I have 2 other videos. The first one is about how to get started as soon as you get engaged. The second one is about budget, which is a huge deal. Today's obviously about bridal beauty prep. Tomorrow is going to be a bridal makeup tutorial where I'm going to dive in and just talk to you about different things you can do if you are going to do your own makeup. And then I'm also going to have a hair video, and I'll have one last video after that where I'll just be wrapping it all up. But of course, if y'all have any questions, and like I said, if this is your first video to watch, don't message me on YouTube if you have a question. Message me on my Instagram. It's Kelsey Skyrob, Kelsey Skybrob. But if you have been watching, I'm sure you're tired of me saying all that. So let's get started. Number 1, and of course I have my list here because I really want to share with you all the knowledge that I have and I don't want to get off track, and I'm ADD. Okay, first, I'm pretty sure, I just got a low battery. I'm pretty sure, so I better talk fast I guess, that as soon as we get engaged, every single one of us, whether you are somebody that's dreamed about your wedding your whole life or somebody that has always hated weddings, you've still, in the back of your mind, had a vision of yourself on your wedding day. I think we all have. And immediately whenever you get engaged and you calm down for a second, you think, and you kind of get that vision again and you're picturing yourself. And for me, that vision was perfection, which I think is all of ours. It was me basically looking like Giselle walking down the runway, okay? Because we have just this perfect image in our head of like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm going to look like on my wedding day. And then we kind of panic whenever we get engaged, or at least I did, because I thought, okay, this vision I have of myself is not the same weight of the girl that just got engaged, okay? And so that's one of the things I'm going to start with is weight. So whether you have 8-month engagement like me, a year engagement, 1-month engagement, however long you have, you want to look your best. And so I'll tell you some of the tricks that worked for me on losing weight and toning up. And number 1, that is an app called MyFitnessPal. I am the type of person that I cannot stick to a diet, okay? I love food. I love different flavors of food and just like the culture of food, just everything about food I love, okay? And it is very hard for me to cut certain things out and say, I'm not gonna have any carbs, I'm not gonna have any of this, because if I do that, I might last for a couple days and then I'm going crazy and I'm eating a whole cake, I'm eating a whole bag of tacos, I'm eating whatever. Somebody's here. So anyways, what works for me is calorie counting, where I can eat whatever I want, but I have to eat only certain portions of it and so many calories of it. And there are many different apps that you can do this with, and a lot of them are free. MyFitnessPal is just the one that I used, and you can go anywhere. Like, let's say you go to Taco Bell and eat a taco. I don't know why. I must be craving tacos. I keep talking about them. But let's say you go to Taco Bell and eat a taco. You just go in there and look, bean burrito or whatever you had, and it will pull up how many calories you had. Also, it keeps up with your steps so that you can see, hey, I've burned 1,000 calories walking around because I walked my dog this morning or whatever it might be. Another thing with that is you can put in your current weight, your goal weight, and how many weeks you have. And it tells you at the end of every day whenever you log in, and you can of course put working out in there too, like if you get on the elliptical or whatever, and it'll put those calories burned, and so you may have a few more calories to eat. But the best thing is at the end of every single day, when you log in and it says, you know, you're finished with your journal for the day, it will say, if you eat this way every single day for the next 6 weeks, you will weigh this much in 5 weeks or whatever. And that's a great reminder. For me, that was huge, because if I had a bad day and I logged in and saw, oh wow, in the next 6 weeks, if I eat like this every single day, I'm gonna be 5 pounds up, it kind of was a game changer. And the next day I was like, okay, gotta keep it real today. I think that is a huge benefit. If you are somebody that has trouble sticking to diets, MyFitnessPal is so easy and fun. And like I said, you can eat what you want. You can eat a candy bar, you can eat ice cream. You just have to balance it out for the rest of the day. You can't eat ice cream at every meal or whatever. You may have to cut out and eat a really small dinner or whatever. But on to the next. Oh, well, let me say one more thing about the working out. What works for me whenever it comes to actually physically working out and doing something is the elliptical. You burn so many more calories on the elliptical than you do running or walking, and it's fun. You can listen to your music, you can get your groove going, you can watch movies, watch TV. If you are going to a gym that has an elliptical machine that has like the TV, I love the elliptical. I could stay on there, well, right now, probably not very long, but once I get my groove, I could stay on there for an hour, and it's great, and you burn so many calories. Next, let's talk about makeup. So it's a big decision. Do you want to do your own makeup, or do you want to have somebody do your makeup? I chose to do my own for multiple reasons. Number one, I wanted to know exactly what my makeup was going to look like. And if you're using a makeup artist that you can't practice with, you don't know. They may have a completely different style than you. You may show them a picture and they say, oh yeah, we'll make that work. And then you look totally different. You just don't know. And that was not a risk that I was willing to take on my wedding day. Another reason is that I'm just a little bit of, well, I was on a budget, okay? So when you're on a budget and you start pricing out these makeup artists, it is a lot more affordable to do your own hair and makeup. And so I chose to do that. That's another way that you can, of course, cut costs. But if you're gonna do your own makeup, I will tell you, and I'm gonna say it a million times in the video for tomorrow, I know, but practice, practice, practice. Even if you are a professional makeup artist, when you get in there and you wake up on your wedding day and everybody's calling out your name and they're like, hey, where do we go for this? The groom wants to know what time he's supposed to be here. And your mom wants to know this. And the mother of the groom wants to know this. I mean, you've got so many people coming at you and you're already nervous. You do not want to start pulling out all these tricks that you've never tried. You want to stay focused. So practice to where it's almost like muscle memory. I know exactly, not just a smoky eye, but the exact smoky eye that I want to do, the exact blush I want to use, the exact highlighter, because those things are where you're going to get lost on your wedding day because you got your bridesmaids coming up to you and you're like, oh yeah, you got a highlighter? Let me try yours. No. No mistakes, no washing your face and starting from scratch on your wedding day, because it is only going to stress you out. And I'll tell you, as you're practicing, test out some different foundations. I'm going to tell you some tips on foundation. And the number one is, do not use a foundation that has an SPF in it. Anything that has an SPF, I know we've all seen pictures of those girls that, and I've had pictures of myself like this, that where they're in a picture with a flash and their face is white. It's completely white. They almost look like a ghost, and that's because their foundation has SPF in it, which we normally wouldn't notice on an everyday basis, but with the photographers, they have all these different umbrella lights and different flashes that we don't have on our everyday camera, and that could happen to you, and you don't want to run that risk of that happening. So what I recommend is finding a foundation that works on your skin and trying out multiple foundations. So like I said, I had an 8-month engagement, so I had a lot of time to try different foundations. And you don't have to buy full bottles of foundation. Go to Dillard's, go to Macy's, Nordstrom's, go to different makeup counters, Sephora, Ulta, and get little tiny samples of different foundations and wear them on your face. Wear them to work. Wear them wherever you want to go, and test them out the full day, because let me tell you, your wedding day is going to be a long day. You're going to take pictures. Doesn't even count the ceremony, reception, dancing, eating cake, eating reception food. There's a long process of a wedding day, and you want to look good the whole time, and you want your makeup to stay the whole time. So test out foundations, and that's one of the things I did, like I said, is I went and got a lot of different samples, and these are the two that I found and I really loved. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I don't know if you can see it up close, but this one is absolutely stunning. They say not to use this if you have oily skin, and I have to say I highly disagree. I have oily skin, and I wore this on my wedding day, and I absolutely loved it. It stayed all day. This foundation is everything that it's cracked up to be. It's amazing. Next is the Makeup Forever HD Foundation. This one is amazing for your wedding day because it has HD. So what that means is that it's meant to be photographed with a high-end camera like photographers use. So anything that has an HD, I've seen some drugstore that have those as well. Makeup Forever just makes a really great one. And what I did on my wedding day, you'll see tomorrow in the tutorial, but I mixed the two of these together. But it's a splurge. I mean, these foundations are high-end foundations, but what's great about them is that whenever I buy a foundation, I have foundations for years because, I mean, it takes me a long time to use this whole bottle, and it's your wedding day. So you may buy a $40 or $50 foundation, but you're saving $100 and something on not having somebody do your makeup for that one day, and you get to keep these forever. So not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with having people do your makeup on your wedding day. If that would have been in my budget, I can promise you I would have had somebody do it. All right, and then of course I'm going to show you all the actual makeup tutorial and talk to you about more makeup tips tomorrow, but this is just on the beauty prep scale of finding the foundation that works for you the best. And next, let me grab some stuff. Find your skincare routine, the best routine that works for you. I personally use Rodan & Fields, the Redefine line. It's the blue one, and it transformed my skin. I also would recommend any of the Rodan & Fields stuff is amazing, but any of the Peter Thomas Roth or IS Clinicals, there's so many good skincare lines, and you really want to find one that you can, again, test in advance. And if you don't have time to test one in advance, then just stick to whatever you've been using and don't switch it up, because you don't want anything to switch before your wedding day to where you have any sort of rash or reaction, a breakout, anything like that. You want to, of course, try different things and help your skin look better and have more of a glow, but you don't want any weird reaction. You're going to be so mad if that happens. So if you're trying a new skincare, I do recommend the Rodan & Fields. Like I said, I saw a huge difference in my skin whenever I switched to this, but I would not suggest switching to this or anything unless you have at least 3 or 4 months to test that out and make sure that you don't have any reactions going on. All right, next, if you are somebody that deals with breakouts, okay, sorry, I have like a itch, but if you are somebody that deals with breakouts, the last thing you want on your wedding day is for you to be broken out, okay? And so I will tell you, an investment that you want to make is this mask right here. And this is the Peter Thomas Roth Therapeutic Sulfur Mask. I've posted about this on my Instagram if you follow my Instagram. This is amazing. I have tried Proactive, Neutrogena, Clearasil, Clean & Clear, Rodan & Fields Acne line, every single thing you can think about, and I have never seen something that works like this magic. It is, like I said, a sulfur mask, and I've used so many different acne treatments that say, oh yeah, you'll see less of a breakout the next day if you sleep in this or whatever. No, this will halt and get rid of your breakout. It will get rid of it. You need this if you deal with breakouts. You can see that it is white on the inside, and I've had this for over a year, and it's not even halfway gone, but I'm telling you, it is, you know, that sulfur mask, so probably if you have really sensitive skin, don't use it, but if you deal with breakouts, this is something you want to have in your back pocket, not just for the wedding day, bachelorette party, showers. You don't want to break out at any of those times, okay? All right, next, and I'm almost done. I know this is kind of a long video, but you want a wedding day fragrance. And I remember seeing somebody talk about this, or hearing somebody talk about this, and I thought, that is the silliest thing I've ever heard. And I'm thinking about my budget, and I'm like, honey, I do not have the budget to be going out to buy fragrance just for my wedding day, okay? But I ended up doing that, and I'm so glad that I did. And these are just 2 of the fragrances that I really love. This is my go-to that I wear every day, so I didn't wear this on my wedding day because I wanted to switch it up. But this is Chanel Chance Fraîche. It's amazing. I used to work in a department store where we sold fragrances, and anytime we sprayed this, people would walk by and be like, what is that smell? We love that perfume. I want to buy it. But the one I used on my wedding day was definitely a more affordable one, and that is by Victoria's Secret, and it's this exotic one, and it smells really good as well. And I wore it on my honeymoon and during my wedding while I was getting ready for my wedding and anything like that, my rehearsal dinner. And honestly, whenever I spray it on now, I just got married in January, but whenever I spray it on, it does take me back to being on my honeymoon and my wedding day. So it's pretty cool. And that's what I had heard before, is that if you have this scent, then it reminds you of your wedding day. All right, last but not least, you need to figure out, are you going to do your own hair? And this is another thing you want to practice on, or are you going to have somebody else do it? And if they are going to do it, then maybe have them practice on you too. Because even though they're professionals, you don't know what their style's like unless you've worked with them before, but you don't want somebody coming out with a prom hairdo, okay? But you want to start prepping your hair as well as you do your skin with some great shampoos. For me, the most important thing about my hair is going to be volume, because I have fine, thin hair. And so I went with this Caviar Anti-Aging Bodybuilding Volume Shampoo and Conditioner. And I also got the hairspray. This you can get at Ulta. I don't know if they have it at Sephora, but I do know that it's at Ulta, and it's the Caviar Anti-Aging, like I said, Bodybuilding. There's so many different volume shampoos, and whatever you may be going for, whether it's volume or curl